Hello once again, lovers of good video games. My name is Pell, and this is once again coming from my white room. Now, today I'm going to be talking about Dead Space 3 for the Xbox 360. Now, this game came out quite a while ago at this point, a few months back, in I think February of 2013. So it's a little bit older than some of the other stuff that's recently coming out. It's still a really good game. I just got my hands on it. As always, I'll be talking about the ending to the game after the credits of this video, so stay tuned after that if you have beaten the game and you want to see my thoughts on the last little portion of the game. So, getting right into it, the game once again follows the story of Isaac Clarke. He is the protagonist from the first and second game in this trilogy, and he is once again the main character. We find him on, I'm assuming Earth. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's Earth. And he's in an apartment. He's basically distanced himself from all of the marker stuff and all the necromorph things, anything that has to do with that. And very quickly into the campaign, we have him being recruited, more or less forced to go to this place where they think is the marker homeworld, and he has to try it and stop the threat for good. So that's kind of Isaac's thing. We also see Ellie from Dead Space 2. She is again in this game, and she has a decent role. We don't see her until maybe chapter 4 or 5, I think. She is in this game a decent amount. We don't see her a whole lot, just in kind of cutscenes, because Isaac is pretty much on his own for the most part in this game. It's a few years after the events of Dead Space 2, as far as I can tell. It doesn't really give a timeline as far as I remember. Stuff has changed. And then there are some other characters in this game. I played it on single player, so I didn't do the whole co-op experience thing. And in that campaign, your friend who's playing with you would play as Commander, as Carver, and he is the soldier who has a darkened past. I didn't really like I said, I didn't play co-ops, so I didn't get to play the optional missions, which kind of go into his backstory. Yeah, for the most part, he's not actually in the single player all that much until the very end. Yeah, those are the three main characters in this game. There's others that pop in and out every so often, but those are the three that I found to be mainly significant in this whole story. Getting into graphics. Graphics are actually really nice in this game. They're updated, they're nice, and the environments look great and everything, even the snow. Just a lot of that detail makes it really cool. It makes you feel like you are in a wilderness setting, and it makes you feel like you're in kind of a tundra, icy, snow, wintry setting, and it works really well. So getting into gameplay. For the most part, the gameplay is pretty much the same as it's been for the last two games. The combat system is the same as always. You shoot the limbs off the necromorphs, and they die. You can use stasis, you can use kinesis, you can use all these same abilities. There are some new features though. The bench. Basically, you can create your own weapons now. You can find blueprints, which you can use to create new weapons. You can switch out different parts for your weapons to make them have different abilities. The upgrade system for the weapons is really something that I enjoyed that much, which was basically you find these little chips or circuits scattered throughout the level, and then they can increase your damage, rate of fire, reload, or something else. And you basically kind of switch them out, use them as you play regularly, and that's kind of how you upgrade your weapons. I didn't really like that. I liked the system that they had in the first two games, where you find the nodes, and then you apply those nodes to your weapons and you upgrade them like that. I like that system a lot better. The rig system is also kind of different in terms of upgrading your suit and everything. You have to find different materials that are scattered throughout levels. These are fairly easy to find, some more easy than others, and that is how you upgrade your suit, along with crafting different items at the bench. You can craft ammo, you can craft and medicine, stasis packs, and torque bars. In terms of ammo, you don't really run out of it too much. The only time that I really started running low on ammo was towards the end for some reason. Because I did a lot of the optional missions, so maybe that spent a lot more ammo than it should have. So yeah, for the most part, ammo and health were not really an issue until the very end of the game, which kind of annoyed me. Oh, in terms of the enemies that you fight, there's really no new enemies, which kind of annoyed the hell out of me. There's one boss fight that you have to fight like 3 different times to take him out. And so that was different, but all the standard enemies, besides the soldiers that you have to fight now, it's all basically enemies that we have seen in the last 2 games. That part kind of annoyed me. With Dead Space 1, we got an introduction to the Necromorphs and the basic function of them and the standard enemies. With Dead Space 2, they introduced new enemies to us, and you had to kind of figure out different ways to fight these things. Dead Space 3, they just kind of combined all of that. There wasn't really any new challenges in terms of enemies that you had to fight. There was some that were immensely annoying and difficult, but there weren't really any that were new and that I was struggling to take out because I didn't know how to take them out. There is one new enemy which shows up at the very end, but it's only at the very end of the game in the last few chapters. It's an alien necromorph which can take quite a few hits to take down, and there's a bunch of them towards the end of the game. You get an achievement or a trophy for taking out, I think, 10 of them or something. Just keep that in mind. For the most part, the gameplay in terms of the monsters, it's nothing really new. You can also only hold 2 weapons in this game. So I'm mainly stuck with my plasma cutter and then a combination of the machine gun and shotgun. That's basically what I use for the majority of the game, and not really anything else, because I got used to them and they were both very helpful towards the end. So I didn't really have a need for anything else. So that part kind of annoyed me, but it would have been nice to be able to hold 4 weapons or something, because I think the last 2 games you were able to hold 4 weapons. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what I remember. And also with ammo, the ammo is basically spread through anything. It's just very standard ammo. It is applied to any weapon. And so that part was kind of helpful, actually. You weren't looking around for ammo that you didn't need half the time, and so yeah, that part was kind of nice. Going into enjoyment, overall I did enjoy this game a lot more than I thought I was going to. A lot of people said in their reviews that the game felt a lot more action-y and took away from the horror aspect of the game. I really didn't feel that all that much. Yes, there are parts that did feel like you're kind of just shooting guys when you're facing soldiers and stuff like that. But those parts are only in there every so often. For the most part, you are fighting necromorphs and you are on your own. If you're not doing co-op, you don't have Carver with you at all. Yeah, at all for most of the game. And so you are on your own. There's still the frights and everything, and there is kind of the horror aspect in a lot of it. There were parts where I would open a door and there would be enemies just coming at me. I'd be just like, and it wouldn't be good. Yeah, there is still scary aspects to it, which I was really happy with. The music in the game sets the tone for a lot of the scenes really well, and I was really happy with it. So yeah, if you played the first 2 Dead Space games, I would definitely say finish it off with Dead Space 3. It is well worth your time, and if you can kind of get used to the crafting and the looking for upgrade things to fix up your weapons, and if you can deal with that and having no new creatures, you'll enjoy it just as much as I did. Like I said before, I was talking about the ending to the game after the credits right now, so stay tuned for that. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Pell, and once again, keep on gaming. And if you're still watching, you are here to see me talk about the ending to Dead Space 3. Now, getting into this really quickly. We have the big unitology guy who's named Denim, I think. Let's say Denim. Denim, he has the Codex, and he he turns off the machine, which basically awakens this big moon creature. We see Ellie take off. That was a very touching scene, I guess, between Isaac and her. And then Isaac and Carver, who I think if you had played the co-op campaign, it would be kind of a more it'd be kind of a cooler scene to see them, because they kind of talk about stuff that you might have seen if you'd played the co-op campaign. You basically have to figure out a way to turn off or to turn back on the machine and complete the process and destroy the marker source. And you do that, and you have to basically go through this whole freaking area where you got enemies fighting you and you got the whole place crashing down around you. I was very low on health. I had no health packs at this point and very low ammo, and it was just not a fun time. So I ran past most of the enemies I had to fight and just shotgun the hell out of the little tentacle things that popped up to get past them. So you get there, and then you have to go and fight this big moon creature with 3 eyes, with 3 eyeballs. Very easy boss fight for a Dead Space game, I thought. I really had no trouble with it. I don't think I even had to use a health pack at all. The enemies were fairly easy to fight by this point. I knew a strategy for taking them out, and it wasn't really difficult at all. And I basically, Kinesis, throw a marker at the eyeball. It gets pissed off at you, tries to feed you, you shoot the tentacles, and you're free. It was a very simple boss fight. And at the end, you see Isaac and Carver just getting sucked up into whatever the hole is that's going to destroy, or the little black hole, or whatever it was, in like the vortex. And then you see Isaac, he's holding a picture of Ellie, see it get flown away, and Isaac basically just lets himself go. And you see Ellie in the spaceship outside the planet, and she realizes that the marker signal's gone, but that also probably means that Isaac and Carver are gone. And then she takes off to Earth space. And that is essentially the end of the game. For the most part, the ending I actually did enjoy a decent amount. I thought it was a decent conclusion to the trilogy. Wrapped it up fairly well. I would have liked to see a little bit, like a tiny reference to the Ishimura or something, because that was a decently prominent aspect of the first and second games. At least in the second game, you went back into the Ishimura. That was a very freaky level. So I kind of would have liked to see that. This felt like its own separate game. It had the same universe, but it didn't seem to relate to any of the other past events, besides the fact that Isaac had he has all the marker information in his head, and we have Ellie in the game again. So besides that, I did actually really like the game. I thought the ending was decent. After the credits, you see or you hear Isaac calling for Ellie, so it's a possibility that he's still alive. I don't know. I really hope they don't make a Dead Space 4, because I think that would just destroy the franchise. You have the markers down, and there's no real reason to continue it. Unless they make some sort of DLC, which I think they did, which I might play, which I might review, so I don't know yet. But that is my review of the ending. I did like it, if you couldn't figure that out by now. Definitely pick up the game. Let me know your thoughts on the game itself down below in the comments, if you so choose. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on gaming.